Hey, fellow theme park fans and Mouseketeers, England team, the homegrown tourist here. And with me to talk about our day out at Disney Springs, the reopening, is Professor Pixel.
Heyo.
And to mock us incessantly over the stupid story I have to tell is the real Dr. VENKMAN, except no substitutes.
I feel honored to be the one to mock you.
Let the mocking begin. Yes, I'm seeing there's a couple of stories also that go along with this, not just ours, but how it's being seen from other websites and so forth. So I want to talk about those as well. And we'll also be going over Universal, who just kind of gave their plans for a soft opening on June 1st. That's not too far away. I know, right? I'm thinking, is my pass still good? Do I, or do I have to renew? What's up with that? Because I will definitely be there. That sounds like a lot of fun. So we're going to be talking about that as well. So yesterday, at the time of this recording, was Disney Springs reopening. And Professor and I decided to go out there, have a little lunch, see what was going on. You got there first. What did you think? Was when you arrived, the whole thing, the entering? What did you think of the whole process? By the way,
I was a little worried it was going to be more inconvenient than it actually was. Because as soon as I got there, I was adjusting my mask, and then I simply lifted my hair, and they took my temperature, and I walked right through. It wasn't even
that was something. I got to I think the third floor, and I'm parked right by the elevator. Jump in, and I'm like, okay, we're getting there. It's pretty good. And then I step out, and there's this gate this way. I'm like, okay, but I'm like 4 steps, and that's where I need to go. So they make you go around the elevator, and then there's like 4 kids there, and it's security. And they're all holding what looks like grocery store scanners. Yep. And they walk up, and as it points to you, it actually kind of looks like it becomes a gun, and they're holding it like this. I'm thinking, been there, done that.
Yeah, those laser thermometers, they're really good. You can actually buy those, you know what?
Yeah. Well, so they take your temperature now. I'm like, really? Is this
my only thing is that you're not supposed to aim it at your eyes. It says on there because it's a laser warning laser. Do not look at directly. So it's like,
no, they point it right at your forehead.
They should do it right at your back of your neck.
Yeah, or something. It's really something. But yeah, they took the temperature, and the person goes, "You're 96 degrees." I went, I hope I'm a little warmer than that. That's, I'm not dead. Come on.
They didn't tell me my temperature.
Thanks.
She told me mine, which I was thinking, you know what? I don't think that thing's working. I talked to Gail about this. She was all over the board, and she was dead. I mean, they were telling her she's 95 degrees here. I'm like, that's sick in the other direction, by the way. Yeah, you need to get... so I don't think those things are exactly accurate, but
not really. Like I said, there's a certain distance you're supposed to be away from stuff, even when you do the meat stuff. So in the grocery stores, we had to do that in the frozen department. So you aimed it at the package of fish or something. You always had to make sure at a certain temperature, but it's usually like 6 inches away. Kind of like if you're spraying something on your body, like what you want to call it, suntan lotion comes in a spray bottle.
Mm-hmm.
So if they're doing anything longer than that, it's going to be off.
Okay. Well, the rule is you get your temperature taken, and you have to wear a mask at all times. So we get down. I go downstairs. There's VENKMAN, not VENKMAN. There's Professor Pixel, and we start. First time we met in real life. I told him I'm glad he's taller than me because he looks young. He's a very young guy. He's actually younger than my youngest child. And I said, I'm glad you're taller than me, or it would be looking like I'm walking around my son and I don't even have one.
I'm sure they still probably thought that.
Probably so. Would you and your dad like to sit outside? So we walked over, we checked out the Disney, the Disney Village part. That's what I call where it has all the Disney World shops and all that, the World of Disney and everything. And sure enough, everything Disney is closed, so there wasn't much point to hanging around to that part. I didn't think so anyway.
Yeah, no, it was basically just looking at what was open, the smaller shops that are third party.
Yeah,
and
go ahead.
Well, no, go ahead. That's fine.
We went to the basin, which is basically you go in to wash your hands. I'm a domesticated male. That means I go out there with the women in my life, my wife, my kids, and they want to go check out the perfume soaps and all that kind of stuff. So I've learned to appreciate that that sugar scrub stuff you can put on your hands and everything.
Well,
go on ahead.
I was just saying it's allegedly you're domesticated. I want to talk to Gil about that.
Okay. And by the way, hello to Cheryl Butler in the chat right now.
Hello.
Yeah, that's actually that's Mama.
I was hoping so, because otherwise it's ironic that someone has the same name as you.
The same last name. So anyway, yeah, we go in and we went to the basin, and then the glass shop was open, so we step in there, and that's just like that's wishing right there. There's so much really cool stuff in there. We found something for $40,000 in there. I've got it in the dining review that's going to be out tomorrow.
For the low price.
I know, right? It's this huge ceramic thing, or porcelain. It's gorgeous. But I was going to go through the shops, but that was it. That was absolutely all that was open. I'm like, you know what? Let's go grab lunch. Let's get out here, because I was hungry when I arrived anyway. So we're walking and talking, getting to know and everything. And we walked by the Lego store, see that one, it's closed as well. A lot of third party was not open. The Amaret's patisserie wasn't open. The what was that? The not Poontang, Pon. What is that? Fried gravy.
White gravy?
Yeah, what is that? Poutine. Poutine.
Yeah,
there you go. Yeah. Yeah, that wasn't open. The Lego shop wasn't. And we just kept walking through everything. But we did notice those who would like to take the chance, the Rainforest and the T-Rex restaurants were open. Yeah. But if you want to save yourself the pain, give me $5. I'll kick you in the nuts.
Was the Rainforest open? I don't think we got close enough.
I assumed, because they're the same company. But yeah, you're right. You're right. I don't think we saw it. I never saw the volcano go off. But we made our way over to the boathouse. Now, here's one thing I noticed. They didn't mind anybody, and they weren't enforcing, because you'd see a lot of people pulling down their masks to take a breath, and I was doing that occasionally, because the mask up in that heat.
I was gonna say it must be humid by you. Still.
I got breathing problems anyway. I got a really bad case of bronchitis when I was a young man, and I breathe deep. So all this, you got right here. I just started, so I had to lower it occasionally just to catch a breath.
I would imagine for anybody who has problems breathing, either you're overweight, or maybe you're just not as young as you used to be. So you're just out of shape, and then you're forced to you're forced to wear this mask. It's just like, at this point, it's like, I'll wait till I can take the mask off or I go, because
Well, here's the thing, though. Also, people were spread out.
Well,
we were never within 6 feet of.
I don't like having anything on my face other than my glasses.
I can understand that. I cannot. No, seriously, I can. I really can. But that's one thing also, though. A lot of people were. There was even one guy. He comes up and we talked to him a little bit, because he was passing by. He was yeah, that's a very smart thing. Never go to those restaurants. And Eric, okay, not all of us can be 60 and look like Fred frickin' Flintstone with our full head of helmet black hair. All right, so anyway, yeah, we're even this one guy, he comes by, he's got this big Cinderella's castle hat on, and you can tell he's just happy to be out in anything Disney, because he's doing the whole, hey, all right, what's going on with you? I look over, I'm like, hey, that's one bad hat, Harry. And it's like, love that. One of the greatest movies of all time. And we just kind of shared.
What a horrible looking hat. Oh, but no, it looks great on you.
Yeah, always keep the distance, and that's what people were doing. People were making sure they were keeping their distance and such. And I did notice that they weren't clamping down if you were eating. They're not yelling at you about not having them, especially outside. Inside, everybody wore masks. You go into a shop, you're wearing a mask. When we were looking at the ceramics and all that stuff, masks up. But if you were outside, occasionally people would be pulling them down. Some people would be eating and drinking. So we went to the boathouse. You want to actually talk here, Prof? I'm talking about everything here.
Yeah, we went to the boathouse. I didn't realize the boathouse was as fancy as the boathouse was.
Oh yeah.
I'd never been nearby it. I glanced at the big boat once and then just kept on my way, because usually when I go to Disney Springs, it's because a friend or a friend of the family comes down, and it's gift shopping. That's what Disney Springs is specifically for most of the time. Just advanced gift shopping.
Yeah, I can see that. We go for the restaurants. That's a place to go. Well, the only reason we went to the boathouse though was in the last live stream we mentioned how you and I never had raw oysters. So it's time to go. It's time to get those raw oysters. Gotta give it a shot. And they did tell us. Well, they asked us if we wanted to sit at the bar. The deck bar, and hells to the yes. We're going to be there because it's outside, it's on the water. That's the place to be if you're going to be eating at the boathouse. I'm telling you. That's what I thought anyway. I mean, what did you think of the place we sat?
Oh, it was great. Because outside it was rather hot, but we were right under the shade.
And
so we had that
breeze. I mean, not even a breeze. It was a stiff wind.
Mm-hmm.
And it kept things cool. I did give up a really good view because I am a bit paranoid, and I have to have I can't have my back to the wall, my back to the door. I mean, I have to be able to see. So you have this grand view of Disney Springs, the lagoon, the hotel across the way. It's beautiful. And I was looking at.
He was scared that the lady with the temperature gun was going to come up from behind him.
Got you from behind, Bash. Yeah, I was afraid of that. No, it was really nice, actually. There were a couple of. I liked the fact that we were eating outside. We were able to, of course, when you're eating, they don't mind you taking off the mask because you can't do,
I'm just glad nobody said like, "Oh, you're with your son." Like, "Oh, he's not my son. It's somebody else's son."
No, that's someone else's kid. No, it was pretty good. It was a good place. And we did try the oysters. I thought they were going to be more slimy, like it was a fish drink or something like that, just sort of
like eating a slug.
Yeah, I keep hearing about how it's just like a big thing of snot going down the back of your throat. It wasn't like that at all.
Did they spit water at you?
No, we had a very nice waitress.
Well, I'm talking about the waitress. I'm about the oysters.
Oh, well, that's a part of the oyster story.
What?
The waitress told us how to eat an oyster.
Oh, yeah. She brought it, sat down, and she went over the instructions. And this is where I made a huge mistake. This is where I decided, you know what, I'm going to commit suicide. Yeah. And by the way, yes, my mom actually worked at the Village. She worked in the Christmas shop, and she was also, there's a picture of me somewhere in front of the castle where she's holding as a baby. But yeah, when she brought the oysters and she started to tell us how to do everything. Now, I'm a bit of a joker. I like to make the people around me laugh. If I have an audience,
I've never noticed that.
If I have an audience of one, okay, I'm going to do something or say something stupid. And that's fine. I don't mind being the fool to make people laugh. It's okay. So
you make people laugh?
Sometimes. And the young lady, she brings the oysters, and right there's the sauce. Now, I've already told her I'm allergic to, I have an aversion to onions. Don't bring them. It'll make me sick. And she mentioned, well, it's got, they were talking about the lobster bisque. It's got shallots. No, I can't have anything in the onion family. So she brings the oyster, and there's the sauce, and I go, ooh, a beverage. And I put it down, and I was like, oh, first of all, it was very vinegary. And so it like burned going down. I was like, and they did laugh. I got the laugh that I was looking for. And I had a water with lemon in it, and I was like, oh, it's too much acid, you know. So it wasn't working out for me at all. And so it was actually flavorful, but then I noticed a little hint, and I went, is there onions in this? And she said yes. So for the rest of the meal, not Venkman, once again, it was the professor, could actually see as I was like,
yeah, just the slow slope into.
Yeah, it was really, that's the way I felt too. I was like, hey, all right, we're gonna just kind of.
It's like at this moment, Angleton could use a save.
Yeah,
it's like that thing whenever you would
health needs real food. It was that was now I'm glad I didn't ingest anything, and I have had like spoonfuls of French onion soup before, and I'm like, yeah, okay, I can hold on. But if I'm just glad I didn't hit it like a shot, or I would have, because for a little bit I did think I was going to yak right over the edge.
Well, the thing afterwards was that whenever he went to have his oyster, they brought that sauce and it was basically like a cocktail sauce.
Mm-hmm.
This guy takes the sauce that he just drank and says, oh, this is going to make me sick, and pours it all over his oyster.
Well, I didn't pour the onions, but I said, well, you know what? I'm already in trouble. That's what I said. I'm already in trouble. Might as well enjoy it. So I did put a little more on it. It was that was a lot of fun, but it was a good meal. We got this lobster bisque that is still haunting the professor to this, and by all means, we're gonna have the full review up tomorrow, so check that out. But yeah, anything you want to say extra about this without spoiling the whole review?
I'm not going to spoil the whole review. I'm just going to say you haven't had a good lobster bisque until you've had this lobster bisque.
It was like you're right. It was like those lobster cheddar biscuits from Red Lobster in liquid form. It really did. It was so buttery, so creamy, so good.
I could have gotten 3 of those and would have been happy.
Good. But seriously, I'd go back to Disney Springs. I think they handled it well. I think it would put a lot of people's mind at ease if you're worried about going in. I saw somebody complaining that they didn't have what do you call it? Separation anxiety stickers on the floor for elevators. Well, here's the thing: don't go with another family. If you see a family of 6 in the elevator, there's no way you're going to be able to stay that far away from them. Wait for the next.
Who takes the elevator other than people with that have handicaps?
Right here, man.
A lot of
You
people
didn't
do.
take the elevator. You took the escalator.
Yeah. When are you going to live stream with us? I'll tell you what. I will. I've got an idea for a video, and I would like to invite my mom, my brothers, and if Professor, if you want to join in, I told you about it. The brackets. It requires people who know the rides, basically, to do this particular video. Or I would invite Venkman, of course. Or
that's okay. I'm here for side commentary and just making fun of you.
Yeah, that works. But it's I think they really do. I think they go out of their way to put people's minds at ease. They are also they're not yelling at people. Like if you have your mask down for a drink, if you have your mask down to breathe or anything like that. The one thing that I think they're more adamant about is if you're in the shops, wear your mask, stay as social distance or whatever we're calling it right now. But that's just polite. Look, I'm not as paranoid or as some other people on that, but I do understand that there are people who are like that. So keep your distance away from strangers and such like that. If you you don't know how they are.
For working in retail for all these years, sometimes they're told by the manager you're not allowed to say certain things and all unless because you can get in trouble just for saying not accusing someone but come up personally please put your mask on, because the last thing they want is a unhappy Disney person. You know, I've never worked at Disney, but I mean, I've worked at other places. Like, and if you piss off a customer, it comes out of you. You're paycheck or you're walking.
The thing is also is at Disney there you've got people with breathing problems. You got people with all sorts of problems that might have to do this. They might have to, and they're not allowed to bring it up. And you could say, well, if you're like that, don't go. But oh my gosh, people are champing at the bit to go. And it's champing, not chomping, but people are champing at the bit to go. So if they could step away or go, you know, if you could just, if you want to go off like to the lagoon side where there's nobody at and take off the mask, you're far enough away from, so that's fine. But if you're in the store, show respect, be safe, wear your mask, and try to stay.
Don't they have signs that says mask required when you're ending? You know.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, most do. Most do. And here's the thing, you know, this isn't. Like the comic shop I go to, I've never been there since this entire thing has started where there's more than me and one other person. Okay, if they want to go, you know, they're across the store. If they want to go without there, I'm not going to make a fuss. But when you're in some of these Disney stores, they're so close that
you're right. There's no way.
Yeah, well, I'm serious. A lot of people were staying that 6 feet away, and that should be done. But you got to think about the other people as well. Oh, and by the way, I did stop by the grocery store, and I got peach Coke. So there's that downstairs. That's not for anybody here, but I noticed my mom's in the chat, so I figure there's some in the fridge. I bought this special, so if you want to grab one, my mom likes peach soda.
And I just want to say that I understand that elevators are important, but I doubt the people that were complaining about the elevators actually needed to use the elevators.
That's true. And well, one of the weird things is that the people who need to use elevators were SOL because going up, they had me use the escalator. Now I'm okay by myself, but if I went with my mom, she's in a scooter.
Yeah. That's absolutely understandable. If somebody in the party has a handicap, then they need to use the elevator, and that's fine.
It's literally what you said in the chat.
Yeah. I saw that, so I just was reiterating it. No.
But yeah, and that's the thing is like, well, sometimes if it's real warm outside, and sometimes the elevators will be like air conditioning or maybe cooler because in the shade. I've done that before, you know, I'm at the mall, you know, I'm not physically handicapped, but sometimes those stairs are just killer if you try to take the regular stairs.
Yeah.
It's easier just to take the elevator. But
there's an escalator down. In England, he actually coming down. He came down the escalator and waved at me, and I waved back, got off the phone. And
did he do that and then walk into somebody? Because you guys are watching?
No, I'm very much. I practice at home. We've got an escalator, so I practice my wave and walk. Yeah, that's the way it happens.
It's like you see the president like waving and he falls on the steps.
I was actually going to try to take a picture, and I was going to try to motion to him to like lift his fist, but I was on a phone call, so I could not get that picture.
You were hanging out with him, and then you had a phone call.
I had a phone call before he came out.
It was before. It was very respectable. He respected his elders on this one. I'm looking forward. I want to go back next week. It's opening. The Disney stuff is opening, so we're going to go back. At least I am. You're obviously welcome to, and we're going to see how that goes. Maybe try another restaurant out there. You mentioned the Polite Pig. I'm very open to that.
Yep, I just have to see if I can. Mm-hmm. We have friends of the family in town again.
I'm more friends of the Angry Pig.
But I am definitely interested in maybe trying to get to the opening day of Universal.
Yes. All righty. Let's talk about that. Let's bring that up.
Yes, I would. I am very excited to see how this is going to work.
Yeah, apparently there are new plans for Universal Studios to open on June 1st. Now, hold on just a second. I'm going to go back to that. Let me get to Where are we? Okay, I wanted to talk about this a little bit later, but since that's the next thing up, let's talk about it, man. Seriously. Okay, so here we go. And you see all the tabs I've got open. Breaking: Universal Studios Orlando Resort Theme Parks plan to soft reopen on June 1st, would reopen to the public on June 5th. Alrighty, today marked an historic event in theme park history, albeit not the theme park that's usually in our realm of cover. Okay, yeah, blah, 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 blah. Universal Orlando Resort has presented its reopening plans for the Orange County Economic Recovery Task Force. Wow. And is going... Now, I got to say, Universal's been leading the way as far as all this COVID stuff. They're the ones that were the first to close. They were the ones now that are first to open. So yeah, they seem to be on the ball. Disney seems to be the followers in this. Anyway, Resort plans to reopen its theme parks on June 5th to the public with a soft reopening for team members starting on June 1st. And that's what they usually do. They even do that with the horror makeup, not horror makeup, but the Halloween Horror Nights and all that kind of stuff. They practice on each other. Like they'll close down they used to close down one park and let the other one play, but now they've got so many people and everything, they'll let some people work on one day and then people will be off, and then they'll work, the others will work on the next day and so forth and so on. So everybody gets a chance to go out and play. Let's see. Only invited guests such as annual pass holders will be granted access. Yay!
Wow, wait, if they're just granting access for annual pass holders, I think we're both in luck.
Yeah, I'm good with that. Universal Orlando plans to reopen just in time for its 30th anniversary on June 7th. Here's a look at various preventative measures that will be in place when Universal's Orlando theme park reopens. Universal will implement a system of 3 S's: screening, sanitization, and spacing. And oh my goodness gracious, I can't even read that.
No, I can't either.
I guess temperature checks at parking or main entrance. Let's see. Non-contact guests found with 100-degree temperature or more will be requested to see a doctor and not go to the theme park. Now, will they be requested to not go to the theme park, or will they be made to exit? That's 2 different things right there.
Yeah, because Disney Springs says they will turn you away. They'll say you cannot come in, even if you're with somebody else. Requested
is, hey, do you mind not going? I'm going. Okay. That's a lot different than, hey, you've got 100-degree temperature, you need to leave.
I think they're just using a kinder term. I think they're going to turn you away.
Let's see. Provide 1 free disposable face covering to guests if they didn't bring their own. That's nice. Yeah, but if you're going to spend a lot of time there, you're going to need more than 1. Let's see. Automated at sanitization. Automated. I can't read this. Spills at entry locations in multiple languages, or automated spiels. Yeah, okay, so they're telling people this is what you need to do. Yep. Guests required to wear face mask coverings. Let's see, close valet operations. That's understandable.
Face coverings up.
Yep. Park guest vehicles 1 to 2 spaces apart in garages. That makes sense as well.
If you need me to read it for you, I got the whole thing full up.
Oh, please. Yes. Let's open up yours because I can't.
Hold on. Let me close some stuff.
All right. Got to get rid of all the
all the bad stuff I'm looking at, all the Asian stuff.
Right. Let's see. See, I'm trying to look under. I've got trifocals.
Can you?
This is my.
Well, I pulled it up and I zoomed my browser in.
There you go. See,
so where do you leave off?
We're going to security.
Security. Okay. So you're going from top to bottom?
Yep.
Oh, okay. That was confusing. Okay. So we're starting off. Security is audio. It says the first thing it says
go into the second column. Go across. Let's start off with at the top and go across.
Okay. Well, go from screening.
Yeah.
Transportation, parking, and valet. Guest temperature checks at parking or main entrance. Forehead non-contact. We already just talked about the lasers things. Buzz Lightyear, you know. Guests found with 100.4 degree temperature or more will be requested to see a doctor and not visit the theme park that day. Which makes sense, though. Like, why would you go if you're running 100? Why would you want to go to Disney?
Yeah, I know. I'd be like, oh, especially in this heat.
This guy's throwing up in a bag. Provide one free disposable face covering to guests who did not bring their own, which is great though. Because imagine maybe you packed a bunch and you forgot to pack an extra one for your because you have a family of 4, and maybe you forgot one in the car. You know, or you left it home by accident. You know, happens. Let's at least they're offering like make you like here $20 buy this. Let's see. We're gonna go across still. Security city walk and front entry. So audio message on the walkway reminding guests to follow all new safety protocols. So if there's not a line, you're gonna hear the same thing over and over again. Attractions, entertainment says closed interactive play areas. Handle 3D glasses individually. For dining and merchandise, it says face coverings will be offered for sale.
So I hope it's designers, like kind of like the Disney one where you saw like Cheshire Cat.
I've seen some people. I've seen people I hear at Walmart and stuff. They already have their own. So I'm like, I don't know if they made it themselves. Or like they went to Joanne Fabrics or something or someplace and just made their own.
Yeah, like maybe like a minion mouth or something like that.
It's like okay, get creative. Yeah. Team members self temperature checks at home and upon arrival to work. It must be TMs because it's TMS teams or Teamsters or whatever.
Now, go ahead.
I was gonna say with 100.4 degree temperature or more, flu-like symptoms will be sent home. If the Teamster has a temperature, will not return for work for 72 hours. And it says team members 65 plus and over encouraged to stay home because, well, obviously they don't want you suing or family suing.
Here's something. Universal works off on a point system. If they measure these people and send them home, I'm wondering if that's going to affect their points.
I don't think so. I think if they're sick, then they're going to.
Hopefully, especially considering, because before you would go, oh, I'm sick. Well, we're shorthanded, so we need you today. Okay. And then they would put you up, but if you were low points, you had to go in even though you were sick.
Well, that's the thing. A lot of places, factories too. You get so many points, and then if you get so many points, you're let go. Yeah.
Well, they're flat out telling people over 65, "Hey, don't come into work."
Well, and that's the thing. It's liability. Like I have a store, a hardware store over here. Will not let anybody come into the store, customers, unless you're wearing a face mask.
Yeah,
because it comes down to I was talking to my folks about this. Like, well, they're probably afraid of being sued. But I'm like, at that point, you might as well, you're gonna get sued regardless. Even if they do all this, there's gonna be some idiot there's like, you know what? I'm gonna do something to make money off of this. Unfortunately, if you sign a waiver, you throw your rights away. But I don't know. But situation though, like it is different. What happens. But anyway, moving on, we'll go to Volcano Bay. Sounds like I'm playing Diddy Kong Racing. The CDC has stated that well-maintained pools using chlorine and bromine are known to inactive the virus. So COVID-19, yeah, that's what I'm talking about. And ride vehicles, rafts, and life vest cleaning will be places in water for additional cleaning as needed.
I think they mean placed.
Okay.
Okay. For sanitization, number of tubes in Lazy River and life vest in Action River will be reduced. Good. I remember going through the Action River, and it was just too many people to enjoy. Sometimes when it's busy during summertime, it really is. It's just too much. Back it off a little bit. We want to have a good time here.
All right. For sanitization, Let's see here. Automated spiels and entry locations in multiple languages on preventative measures. Guests required to wear a face covering. This is for transportation and parking valet. Going back to security, city walk at front entry. It says eliminate brochure racks for maps. Team member to hand out individually. Drive utilization to mobile app. Okay,
that keeps a lot of hands off of it,
which makes sense, you know, because you don't, you know, the less. Because I see a lot of the grocery. If you go to the grocery store, you want a cart? They sanitize it for you.
Okay, I see a problem here, not Venk, Professor, since you know what I'm talking about here, but attractions and entertainment says reduce or eliminate water and mist elements. If, I mean, those mist things during the daytime, it is so hot, especially in Islands of Adventure, those mist things, that is a nice reprieve.
Well, my thing is like,
well, if they mean for attractions, I think they mean more like the ET mist.
Oh, okay.
Than like the water shooting down from the fans.
Hopefully. Yeah, I didn't even think about that. But yeah, I think you're right on that one.
I hope I'm right.
What's
right? It says menus to be converted to single use, individual parking, or individual actual package condiments, pre-wrapped silverware. So basically everything is going to be like going to a Denny's.
Yeah.
No buffet or self-serve options in restaurants.
That
I've always been leery though when I go into a place I've never been to. I'm like, how many people have touched this ladle?
Yeah. Like, have you ever been to a buffet and the spoons falling into the food? And
yeah. Somebody has to reach your hand in to pull it out.
That whole thing, because somebody's hand was on the spoon, that whole plate, that whole thing of food needs to be taken out and replaced.
How many people have gone up there with their spoon they just licked and scooped it back in there?
No. I've never seen anybody do anything like
that. Kids, man, they use the same spoon. They won't use the ladle.
Please, gosh, I don't.
Team members
buffets are one of my favorite restaurants. Like any buffet, I'm happy to be at.
All team members will be required to wear face coverings, temperature checks, and health services professionals will wear gloves in addition to any position who wore gloves prior to COVID-19. And for Volcano Bay, I already read that, number of tubes in the lazy rivers. Basically, yeah, let's just not put a whole bunch of people stuck together. And then finally, you have spacing. You want to start it off there, Venk?
Yeah, they're going to close the valet operation, park guest vehicles 1 to 2 spaces apart in garages. So that no problem with that. It reduces the number of people who can actually come to this place.
Yeah.
Which they want to do, you know.
Yeah, at the beginning, they're going to do 25 and then 50.
Distancing and spacing for queuing at turnstiles. Reduce turnstile count. Every other locker bank to be disabled, and guests will be pulsed. I guess pushed into locker.
Yeah, like there's now nobody over there. You can go. It's going to be like that.
Okay. Why did they say they directed to locker area? Don't say pulsed or pushed.
Pulsed.
I like
yeah, that does weird. All righty. For attractions, implement virtual line at highly attended attractions, which they've kind of been steering into that anyway, where you basically sign in with your phone or something, and then they'll like ring. Okay, your ticket's ready. Come on in.
I've never done that.
Space travel parties as appropriate. Eliminate single rider line. Eliminate post-show meet and greets. Performers remain on stage for pictures. No parades to run individual float interactions to have performers remain on floats. Righty, that is kind of weird. You would, I know they would have people like walking between floats, but those people don't, they could still have their performers on the ground, just don't run up to them, you know? Yeah.
They're also not throwing candy at you either anymore, right?
Yeah, they don't do that anymore. Yeah.
Dining and merchandise, it says utilize mobile food ordering to enable direct-to-table seating, and food delivery. Contactless payments offered with Apple Pay and Google Wallet and mobile wallet app. So that's great if somebody has those things, but the people who don't, which I don't know how many people carry money. I carry cash.
Card.
Yeah,
I have a card, debit card too, but sometimes I like cash on me. I like to use a cash.
Yeah.
That's fair.
They took our cards yesterday. They didn't have any problem with it. I'm sure if we did the Google thing, they would have done that as well.
Well, first of all, I never let Apple or Google have access to my bank account.
Yeah, no kidding, right? Try to do that as a little as
I'm old-fashioned. I got the jars hidden under the fence post.
Okay, for the team members, desk spacing and continued work from home options, staggered parking in parking garages, and an encouragement to avoid crowds during time off without proper distancing. Well, that ain't any of your business. I'm sorry, but it's not. I don't give a who I'm working for. And if I'm not at work, that ain't none of your business.
There should not be any staggered people parking in the parking garages.
All right. What do we have for Volcano?
Volcano Bay says reduce the number of guests per raft slide to party size only. No grouping of unfamiliar parties. Are you part of this group?
So finally, they're doing what we always want to do. Have you ever had or been the stranger that's sitting with another party?
Because there's 5 people and only it's like 3 or 4. You know.
Yeah, or they need that extra to fill up the entire thing. So does somebody in your party mind riding with it? No, I don't want to do that. I would rather be the single rider in that big ass raft than have to sit with somebody else's family.
Says lounge chairs placed in dusters to support travel party seating and separate 6 feet apart or separate 6 feet. But yeah, I'm like, I've always been that weird when you go on a ride though. It's like I get sex with somebody I don't even know. It's like I'm like, nah, I'm good.
Man, I'm telling you that it's. I understand why they're getting rid of the single rider line because they're spacing in the vehicles now.
Mm-hmm.
But I used to go on Green Gots like 3-4 times because of that single rider line.
Okay, so not everybody is happy, and with the fact that the world is reopening as slowly as it may be, and occasionally you get you'll get something along the lines of this. Visiting Disney can lead to severe illness and death, Disney warns. I was thinking, okay, you know what? I kind of want to just, they got to be kidding. They got to be kidding here. Okay, how can I turn this off? Because she's distracting. All right. Disney wants to apply the baseball rule of personal risk assessment to slowly but surely reopening its theme park at the height of viral pandemic that is killing thousands of Americans by the day. At least there are branded masks. That's not funny. After recently reopening Disneyland Shanghai with social distancing measures and other orders in place to combat the spread of the novel coronavirus, Disney has turned its eyes closer to home as it contemplates just how and when it will reopen its U.S.-based theme parks. The first phase of that program began today in Orlando, Florida. That's obviously yesterday, with the reopening of Disney Springs, the shopping complex that isn't a theme park itself, but home to restaurants and shopping locations that acts as a hub for people to gather. Yeah, after all the parks close, it does get busy. It gets really busy at night. Disney's reopening of the complex includes a lot of measures on its own behalf, including temperature checks, signs displayed in stores reminding people to remain 6 feet apart and wear masks, and use contactless payment. I like these weird phrases that the internet comes up with, and they've got their thing here, cashless payments when possible, and so forth and so on. But attempting to ensure people continue to safely keep themselves protected, even as they're invited to participate in sorts of activities that deliberately abstaining from has helped Florida remain less of a hotspot for the spread of COVID. Also, the fact that we're hot as hell. That really actually helps out quite a bit. Most of the stuff is outside. You know what? And I ran this by Gail, and I had I've read this in in the forums for annual pass holders and everything. If they did a soft opening and didn't open any of the rides, you know, shops and restaurants, just like Disney Springs, would you still go to Magic Kingdom, Animal Kingdom, Hollywood Studios, Epcot?
I would have a lot less of a reason to go.
But would you? Because I would definitely go. Well, sure, let's walk around, see, you know, it's still a day outside, do the shopping, go to a restaurant out there. I'd be A-okay with that.
I mean, because I live here, probably not. But if I was planning on coming here for a vacation, I absolutely would.
This was a pass holders conversation.
Ah, well then, I personally,
Did you guys
would just rather not go if I couldn't do anything except shopping and eating. I mean, for Disney Springs, that's what it's made for.
Mm-hmm.
But for a theme park, it's kind of...
I would still go. I would think it would be a great way, like you said, to soft open. I would love to. I mean, but then again, to me, Epcot is, I like the rides there. I like the shows there. But you know what? I love the restaurants.
You guys said you went to the Polite Pig, right?
No, I was talking about going there the next time.
Because you can buy a face mask there, apparently, for $12.50.
Oh, there you go. Let's see. But attempting to ensure, let's see, is already proving even on day one to be a challenging procedure. One social distancing marker run out. Once the social distancing's run out, people eyeball the 6-foot social distancing separation line. By the way, this is where Gail works, the Earl of Sandwich. Oh, that has to happen, but that happens everywhere. This isn't a Disney thing. It's not like, oh my God, look what Disney's doing. It's horrible. No, that happens at the grocery store too. The line for chicken guy is backed up. It wasn't backed up by the time we got over that part of the park.
That must be later in the day.
11:32 a.m. It was earlier.
Oh,
We were having lunch by then, or actually, I think I just arrived. One additional feature that is eyebrow raising then is Disney's addition of liability signs mixed among its reminders for returning guests to practice social distancing measures. As photographed by Walt Disney World today, placards throughout Disney Springs also carry a warning that by choosing to show up at the reopened space, basically it's on you if you contract the novel coronavirus. Well,
because
what
it is.
Doing? Yeah.
I went out. I did not. It wasn't that I didn't know that the virus was out there. I mean, I didn't expect it there.
I agree. I look. Yeah, it's not their fault that. No, it's just not.
No one ever expects the Inquisition virus.
No one ever expects the Wuhan virus. An inherent risk of exposure to COVID exists in any public place where people are present. The sign reads, part COVID is an extremely contagious disease that can lead to severe illness and death. And this is it. It's basically, look, I understand that. By visiting Walt Disney World, you voluntarily assume all risks related to exposure to the Wuhan virus. I'm going to just say that. The sign cheerily concludes before signing off with help keep each other healthy and safe. And the same message was added earlier this week to the Disney website. And that's the way it should be. Look, yeah. My mother, she's 70, and I understand she doesn't want to take the risk. That's absolutely okay. When she feels like stepping outside and going out, I'll take her. I hope we have a great time. I'll take her to whatever restaurant. I think the Boathouse would be a wonderful place to take her because she could eat outside. Or Jock Lindsay's Hangar Bar, which I showed you, they have an outdoor seating on a boat as well.
You should take the bird with you.
I know. He is going freaking nuts over here. It is ridiculous.
That's loud on here. You got to be deaf in your ears.
But you should understand that you are taking anybody going outside ever. If you go to the grocery store, you're taking that same risk. They're making it seem as if Disney is the only place because someplace other than a grocery store is opening. You could catch it going to anywhere where other people are.
Well, definitely.
You're more likely to get it at a grocery store than you are at Disney Springs.
Well, yeah, everything was shut down. they're not. Somebody say I have it. I don't know I have the symptoms. I touched the cereal box. Somebody else comes and touches it immediately after I touched it.
Yeah.
Not everybody wears gloves. And even if you wear gloves, sometimes you have to you adjust your mask on your face. So you just touch your mask, your face with the gloves, you know?
They are saying now they found that you're less likely to get it from the surface of something than you are somebody breathing it in. And also they said you have to spend time. That's why churches and church choirs and stuff like that. And that's why movie theaters, if you're not wearing your mask, movie theaters would be a bad idea because you're in that room for a long time with somebody. If you're just passing by, it ain't gonna, more than likely ain't gonna.
My belief is that we've all had it at some point now, and it's just only a few of us are actually showing symptoms, you know.
Well, judging by how many people get that tested, they test people, and there's so many people. Oh my gosh! Now it's 1,000, 2,000, 4,000. Everybody has it. It might be, but now, I don't know. We haven't heard about that.
I don't know. I was just saying this when it comes to the testing people. It's like watching the political polls on the news. Everybody's poll is different.
It's messaging that draws upon a legal waiver that's known colloquially in U.S. tort law as the baseball rule. Inspired by two legal cases in the early 1910s, Crane versus Kansas City Baseball and Exhibition Company and Wells versus Minneapolis Baseball and Athletic Assan, gave away 2 decades of legal precedent in various forms across the United States, protecting ballparks from being sued if a guest is injured by a wayward ball. As the Hollywood Reporter notes in a new feature about potential legal risks businesses and companies like Disney might face as they begin to open up. In and of itself, a distinctly risky measure at this stage of the pandemic spread in spite of the president's urges. It's not necessarily terminology that's going to protect Disney from potential legal cases. Florida is a state that operates under a comparative negligence standard, which means that if someone does contract the Wuhan virus and can feasibly link their infection to Disney, the resort could potentially face a legal battle. So people should know the risks they're taking on by choosing to break their own personal quarantines just to get some Joffrey's coffee or buy a Mickey Mouse t-shirt. But that won't entirely protect Disney. I'm getting the feeling that this guy is anti-opening. But yeah, this is definitely, it definitely went from news to slant. The news is this: Disney's put up signs that say, if you go out, you are taking matters into your own hands. It's up to you whether you want to go out or not. So it's up to you it's on you if you get the virus. That's the story. That's the whole story. The only part of the story other than that really matters is the part that tells us why, telling us what the baseball thing is. All the other stuff is spin. It's like, oh my gosh, it's so bad. Look, all these people are, it's kind of spinning in that direction. The news, they could have cut this down a lot without all of the flourishes.
I'll just say this: if one of those people are really afraid of getting the virus, your best thing to do is never leave your house. Don't go to the grocery store because you could risk touching it so that it might have it or interacting with somebody who might cough.
Mm-hmm.
It's no different than anything else. If it's airborne, chances are you already have it. I mean, we're not getting tested though, but then how many people were actually getting tested the correct way?
Yeah.
So I don't know. I heard that the CDC came out and said, actually said that they were wrong and they overreacted and they never should have locked down. It wasn't as bad as they thought it was. So there's a lot of misinformation. For those who don't feel comfortable going to Disney, we're not judging you. You can stay home if you want, But I'm just saying, eventually it's to the point. It's like, well, how long are you going to keep yourself secluded?
Yeah, and those people in the comments are idiots.
Yeah, as a person who has shares in Disney, I gotta say this is the dumbest thing they've ever done. There was a woman on TV a few days ago who said with glee that when Disney opens her family, 2 younglings and her dumb husband will be the first in line. I just shook my head in shame. Some people don't. I'm sorry, but go have fun. If you don't feel comfortable, Stay home. Stay home.
The world cannot stay shut down forever. I don't know why these people can't understand it.
The problem that I'm seeing, because I see this on Twitter a lot with a lot of the people who take this stance.
Oh, these are the people who don't want to work.
You heard me. Let me finish here. The problem with this people who are taking the stance are also the ones that believe this is absolutely inevitable. Everybody's going to get it, and everybody's going to die at some point because of it. They really are. The world is ending because of this. But the thing is, if this illness is inevitable to the point where just stepping outside your house, you're going to get it, it's inevitable. Live your life. I mean, we know we're all going to die anyway. So what are you going to do? Sit around trying to bubble wrapping yourself so you don't, you have to live your life. If this is inevitable, live your life.
These people are afraid of going out or don't remember the Hong Kong flu from the 1960s.
Well, the problem is there was an upsurge when people went out. There was an upsurge, but that's the whole thing. There will be more people get together. There's going to be an upsurge. It's going to be happening. We always have risk assessments. We always have death assessments. Why isn't the speed limit 25 miles an hour? Look, if you hit somebody in a car at 25 miles an hour, if that's as fast as we can go, more than likely you're going to survive. But what is it, like 11,000 car deaths a day? We have speed limits up to 55, 60 miles an hour, 70 on some roads, because we've said, okay, this many deaths is acceptable for people to live their lives. This many deaths are acceptable, so you can get from your house to the comic book shop in a half an hour rather than
on certain areas outside of where basically these are unpopulated areas. The speed limit will go up to 50, 55, depending where you are. Once you get into suburbs, it drops down. Sometimes you can go down to 40 or 25.
You want to keep the amount of deaths to a minimum. But the point is that there is a risk assessment. We do this all of the time. This isn't anything new. And look, if you are susceptible, if you're in that age group, and I understand my parents are, if you're in that age group, or if you are if you yourself have a breathing problem where you're going to be more accessible to it, you make sure that you're using that and you're thinking about that if you go outside. This whole thing about it was never about finding a cure. It was about flattening the curve so our hospitals didn't get overfilled, and they've done that. But now they're telling us we have to wait for a cure. There may not ever be one.
Right?
Yeah. You cannot shut the world down based on it. You got to be able to go out and do things, and people are, and you have been forever. This entire thing, this world has not really shut down. They've just gone around and said, "You're essential. You're essential. You're essential. You stay the f home." And that's wrong. Every time I hear that, all I can think of is that one-armed Jewish man in Oscar in Schindler's List. I work for Oscar Schindler. I am essential. And then the Nazi guy, he gets tired of him, shoots him in the freaking head. I'm sorry, but no, we shouldn't be walking around begging to the police. I can be here. I am essential, only to be beaten or arrested or even fined because you're sitting by yourself or with your family having a lunch in a parking lot, which has happened. That should not be going on, ladies and gentlemen.
Some things I hear is like, oh, it's worse than the flu. I'm like, well, the flu doesn't even have a vaccine. For one strain, yes. When you have a bunch of people get it, it mutates over 1 million times. Mm-hmm. So we get a flu shot, but that protects you for that one significant strain. And if you're allergic to eggs, you can't get the flu shot.
Well, here's the thing. Let me burst some bubbles here. When you look at the pictures of the beaches, when you look at the pictures of people on the beach, they're using a wide angle lens. And what that does is it kind of brings things in. If you've ever have you ever seen Stand By Me?
Yep.
There's a scene where these kids are running across a train trestle, and it looks like the train is right on them. Well, that's a wide angle lens, and it's used to make that train look like it's closer than it actually is when it's really across the train trestle from them, and they're perfectly safe. when you see these pictures, they're using that lens to take the picture. If you ever watch the videos of the people on the beach, you'll realize everybody is staying within 6 feet. They're all
they show from one angle, and then you'll see above in a helicopter, they're all spread apart.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because the people that have been taken, they want to tell a story that just this story.
Yeah, when you're at ground level, it looks like they're all together. When
we went to Disney Springs, people were minding the space. I'm telling you, this is not the danger. This is not the horrible situation that the paranoid people of IO9 want you to believe. It really wasn't. We went there. We were on the ground. We made sure that we were 6 feet apart from everybody. We made sure in shops our masks are on, and so did everybody else.
I can imagine.
The only time people did not have their masks on were when they were walking around outside. It was 90 freaking degrees outside. And still, even then, people made sure they were keeping their space.
I gotta say this though. I kind of like the social distancing thing. I don't like somebody standing next to me who's got BO smell on them. You stand 12 feet away from me, bro.
Yeah, that would happen if you were ever behind a really smelly person on a line at Disney. First of all, sorry. But no, seriously, it could be pretty bad.
I'm a person that sweats a lot, but I mean, like,
yeah.
If I start smelling funky, I leave. I don't want to, because I don't want to just be walking around. To me, it's embarrassing.
Well, when you're at a theme park throughout the day and you start smelling funky, everybody else is smelling funky too.
I know, but so actually, it's more encouraging me to go home because I don't want to smell a whole dark cloud going by. Everyone's in the shower, like the little spray sticker that you see guys like just using a bar of soap.
Yeah, look, if you're worried, stay home. That's flat out the only.
But it's thing, yeah, it's like I said that. Well, I don't want to. If I have to stay home, everyone else will stay home. They can't have fun. That's the thing I hear about people saying too. It's like they're jealous because they're all out there because they're too scared to go out themselves. So they just try to justify it by saying, "Well, they're just going to make things worse." They may not. You don't know. Are you a doctor? No. Am I a doctor? No. So don't speculate.
Now, here is one thing, and let me address this also. And mind you, I am not a lawyer at all, but it doesn't happen just because you say so. If you get, and this of course is Florida, by the way, but if you get coronavirus at Disney, you could sue them. Just because they said, "Hey, it's on you," doesn't mean it's on them. Just saying. But it is on you to keep yourself safe, because once again, if you go and you get complications from it, if you die from it or whatever, the lawsuit ain't helping, brother.
Yeah, I think that lawsuit will have about the weight of the brick that fell off Cinderella's castle.
There you go. Yeah, I remember that. Yeah, somebody sued Disney because a brick fell off of Cinderella's castle and hit them. Lady, that's not bricks.
we had Milwaukee. Some of these buildings are over 100 years old, from the 1800s. Yeah, and I remember reading on the paper and like. Part of a gargoyle, because we have old school stuff buildings. Part of a gargoyle or side of the building just fell all the way down, brick structure fell down, and like crushed and killed a kid.
It's sad.
Because people don't upkeep stuff. Disney upkeeps a lot of stuff. Well, apparently not as much as I guess, because I thought they would be. I thought they were perfect, but hey, no one is perfect. You take that risk stepping outside. You could, slip and fall. Or you could do anything. I'm just saying, don't let fear control your life.
Yeah.
And there's so much misinformation there. You got to decide for yourself: is it worth putting my life on hold forever? Because let's say we do wait. Say the whole entire country stayed closed for a whole entire year. What then? Well, it's been a year. We haven't had a vaccine yet. What we should do for another year? No. So that's the thing is we're not. And then by that point, our country would be so belly up, financially, economically belly up. We'll be basically where other world's country, will basically be more productive than we are.
I guess so.
Because but guess what? We're still buying products from China. How many face masks are made in China? They're Disney selling.
Ha ha ha! We poked holes in them.
I come on this one. Ha ha.
That's true. Oh my gosh, yeah.
But yeah, because like we're not all to blame China because that's what's racist. Well, if somebody does something and actually have physical proof that they started it, are you not supposed to call them out on their behavior? If somebody shoots somebody, well, how do you know?
And we need to say it is the Chinese government that's
nobody.
This is the third time it's happened.
Government, but here's the thing. And I'm going to stop this particular line of conversation so we don't get real politics.
Yeah,
I understand we're talking about this, and it's very serious, especially when we're talking in conjunction with theme parks. But here's something that I'm really not a fan of as far as this whole thing. You call it Wuhan, and somebody says it's racist towards Asians. You're the racist if you say that. Not all Asians are Chinese. And that's what you're saying. I'm sorry, but it's not racist to call this the Wuhan virus. Wuhan is a place, and that is where it came from. It's not bad to say somebody came from Wuhan. Okay, it's not bad to say that something came from Wuhan. Wuhan is a place, and it kills me. You're insulting Asians. No, and you're not even insulting Chinese people. At most, you're saying that the government didn't do their diligence. That's it. It amazes me how they get away with saying that all Asians are Chinese when they do this. And then here's the worst of it. Here's the worst of it, that they say you're insulting Asian Americans because you call it the Wuhan virus. Are you saying or implying in some way that Asian Americans aren't Americans, that they are now part of China, more so to the point where they should be insulted because you say that this thing that came from a certain place came from that certain place? It's ridiculous. Like, it's not insulting to say someone came from Italy. It's not insulting to say somebody came from Mexico or somebody came from Canada. It's not insulting to say I don't like Mexican food. Oh, what? You're saying that all Mexicans are bad cooks? Is that what you're saying? I mean, this is the kind of logic that's coming from these idiots. If you're saying that it's a racist to call it Wuhan because that insults all Asians, doesn't even insult the Chinese, you morons. All righty, that's my soapbox, and I did it on this channel. Let's clear this out. Talk about something a little bit less.
Preview for the next episode of the I Love Disney.
Okay.
We're gonna talk about props.
Props. Oh yes. Oh, I watched that entire TV show, by the way.
I'm sure you have. You went.
Yeah, prop culture. I want to do an episode to episode review of prop culture. That would be awesome.
Okay. I've already watched the first one. I'm waiting to watch more.
Oh, hey, I am so jazzed. I would do a watch party of this. I want to do a watch party of Mary Poppins as well. Me and Gail were talking about that. But yes, let's get that done because I do want to do more videos here. I think that it's going to be a lot of fun. I really do. Yeah.
All right. Then we have our future plans already.
Okay. Lawsuit claims teenager was asked to remove social media posts claiming COVID infections after spring. Oh, I just saw this. It's old. It's old news, though.
Old news is still news.
Yeah, but I want to do something a little lighter. I mean, it's all COVID and everything. Okay, here's one thing. Make sure you check out our dining review of the boathouse tomorrow. Also, let's see if anything good is coming. Monorails are running at Walt Disney World during the extended. What's better than seeing Mickey balloons at Disney Springs? Seeing monorails in their natural habitat, zooming across Walt Disney World's resort. The Disney parks may be closed, but one lucky passerby caught a glimpse of both monorail coral and monorail silver making the rounds. And here we go. And I got to tell you something. I want to ride the monorail. I do. Obviously,
on the door.
Yeah,
I don't want to ride it. I want to drive it.
You used to be able to ride up front, and I would love to drive it too. But you used to be able to ride up front, but
And now the drivers have guns. So
they
you should-
stopped. They stopped because there was a crash. But I've ridden up front a couple of times. But
Well, it's also more automated now than it used to be.
this is going to be a problem because after, I don't see how they're going to be able to do it. I just don't, because the way the monorail works, people get on and then they get off, but there's never an empty cart. So you have people on and off all the time. I mean, even if there's still people in the cart, even if they did a quick cleanup, but how are they going to clean up every freaking car, every seat, every bar, you could picture it, the logistics I'm talking about, right?
Yeah, I can see it very clearly, and you're right. There's no way to like socially distance inside of the.
Yeah, let's see. The Highway of the Sky has returned. So happy to see some rails out on the beams. Disney Transportation has been at halt since the closure. Yeah, I don't see it. I'm sorry. That may be the last part of the opening. Otherwise, they better put some more ferry boats into action. I can see that more than I can see the monorails. The only way I can see the monorails done is if they do every other car. And then, this is how I would do it. On one stop, you open up one car, and on the other, you do the other. And you would have to have people get out and go to the next car, even if they're riding again. And then everybody has to wear not only face masks, but you would have to have them wear gloves for it too.
I like how the horsey thing is right there.
I know, right? Yeah, they have a horse on their dashboard, and he's just kind of staring at.
Even with that, I don't see it working.
Yeah,
I don't see it working out until people have stopped losing their minds.
Yeah, but you know what? I can't wait. I love riding on the monorail, and I like. I got to admit, I do love riding on the monorail to Epcot.
I would.
Around.
Well,
Yeah.
see, you talk about looking right on a monorail. I love I've never done this before, but I'd love to take a train ride going across from the East Coast to the West Coast.
Yeah,
Just the whole entire ride. Just sleep in the cabin,
Mm-hmm. No, that's cool. I mean, I can get that, and it's kind of similar to what we're looking at here with the monorail.
I remember monorails in the 80s were the future of tomorrow.
I know, right? That happened. Anyway.
It happened, and then it went away.
Yep.
The Minnesota Zoo used to have one, and then they started maintaining it, and then now it's in a field in Wisconsin. Somebody turned it into a home.
They should have really made the People Mover the transportation for Disney World. I could see that happening more than I can see the monorail happening.
Yeah, especially if they had it like the People Mover, where it was covered enough that unless it's a really strong rain coming in from the sides, but even then they could do automatic windows. I mean, that wouldn't be too bad. Obviously, some might break or go, but yeah, you just have it so you can bring down some plastic window or something like that on the sides if it is too much of a storm. But the regular monorail, usually you're safe from the rain unless it's a huge monsoon.
Well, I'm not talking about rain wise. I'm talking about handling it for social distancing measures.
But what you would have to, it's because it's an outdoor ride. It's an outdoor attraction. So
you know what you need?
You keep people separated and outside. And I was thinking that's where my segue went to, is that the only inconvenience then is weather. And in all honesty, yeah, you know what? It wasn't that bad they would have to put covers on it. I agree with you, man. People Mover, there you go. Or they can extend the Skyway. Yeah, I don't know. What were you going to say, Venkman?
I was just saying down here in Milwaukee for Summerfest, it's the biggest Midwest musical fest we have down here. We have those chairlifts, like you do see at a ski resort. You just ride on a called gliders, and you ride it, and they basically you said two people in there, and you can ride all the way up around the whole entire park, and then drops you off on the other side. So if obviously that might not work with you guys with the rain and stuff like that, but I mean, or the only risk you always risk is somebody falls out and breaks their leg. That's probably why they have the monorail, where it is. But that was the old school transportation. We've always had this since the 80s when they decided to make Summerfest. I think it was like 70s or 80s. But yeah, because we're down on the lakefront. But that's another alternate option you could do. I mean, obviously it's too crowded. Otherwise, I would recommend go-karts.
Go-karts.
I gotta get the Universal. Put it in the 5th grader. Brr.
I want my viable go-kart.
Right?
All righty. So anything else to add, guys?
I think we have reached the end of our show.
Okie dokie. All righty then. I'm trying to think of something that would be kind of cool. Something kind of cool to talk about before we go.
Any food stuff, pastries, anything like that?
Most likely not. But you know what? As far as food stuff, we do have the review coming up. I might release it a little early. I might just do it tonight.
Release the Disney review.
Release
I'm scared to watch. I hate hearing the sound of my own voice.
We do too. And
I would never say that out loud. How dare you?
Oh, sorry. My bad.
That's right. You can trash it in private.
Right?
Right. Yeah, I was trying to think what is some good, but I'm like looking at all the news here that I've saved over that I've never made the videos I was going to do about it. And in all honesty, it's all about COVID and reopening, and that's been everything.
Well, that's why I am. I since COVID started, I was talking back in March. Every single day, whether you listen to the radio, watch TV, it's the point where it's like I'm avoiding social media, a lot of this stuff, because all it is COVID talk. I'm like, okay, we've heard it. We've been hearing it for 2 months now. It's like they're telling you that the sky's gonna fall, and it hasn't fallen yet.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. Okay. All righty. Well, let's call it then. And say again.
I said all right.
Okay, so just say thank you very much to the few people who did join us live. And if you are new and if you're listening, just by all means say hey. And if you ever want to jump on, say that too. It's a lot of fun. Also, had a great time yesterday with their VENKMAN going through all the walking around and doing the restaurant review. I hope you can.
Definitely had a great time too.
Did I say VENKMAN again? God dang it. See, I'm used to you showing up, not Professor. So
it just takes over the celebrity.
He's been here twice in a row. So yeah, there you go.
He's got a girlfriend, He's busy all the time. He works.
Professor, anyway, yes. I think it would be kind of cool to go out next week as well and see what they've got to offer and try.
His generation, if you can get away from a video game screen for at least 5 minutes, then you're golden.
Oh, yeah, I guess so. Just 5 minutes.
The Nintendo Switch, man, they're walking around with the Nintendo Switches at the Disney World.
We'll talk about that, but I really definitely want to try to go to Universal. If we can do that, that would be really cool.
June 1st?
Well, no, June 1st is team members.
Well, I thought they said it would be pass holders as well.
That's the 3rd through the 4th.
Oh, okay. Well, I'm fine with that. 3rd to the 4th, sure.
The holders of passes, yes.
Yeah. And if I'll be good if they can bring in a +1 because I am a +1 to a Universal employee. Yeah.
Or as English call them, pass holes.
Yep. I am also a Universal pass hole, so that would work. Yeah. There you go. All righty.
Universal.
Once again, guys, thanks for hanging out with us and joining in the conversation. If you're watching afterwards, by all means, let us know what you think in the comments below. Don't forget to click like, share, subscribe, ring the notification bell, do all the good things. I'd like to thank VENKMAN for helping out.
Yeah, no problem.
Oh, other Venkman. I'm sorry, Professor Pixel. I'm just, I'm kidding. Professor Pixel was a lot of fun. Hope we could do that again.
Me too.
And to everybody, I'd like to say thank you very, very much for watching.
And as always, if you made it this far, have a zippity-doo-dah-day.
And we'll see you real soon.